Did you ever think that we only have moms and women in our business? Well, you were wrong if that's what you felt and you thought, because there are guys and there are dads and there are uncles and so on in our business, and they're doing very well. And I have the pleasure to talk to him today. So his name is Emeka. He's part of my accountability team, and I'm just so grateful that he said yes to be the first guy who comes on my live to talk to you in English, not Romanian. Or maybe we can challenge him to speak Romanian too. And he will be questioned, and he's going to be quizzed today about the business. So with no further ado, Emeka, welcome to my live. How are you today?
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too. Thank you so much for saying yes to me today.
Thanks for this wonderful privilege you're giving to me. I belong to this time. Thank you very
Uh,
much.
my pleasure. Emeka, I've known you from the accountability team. I've seen you, going through. In a traditional job, you would say going up the ladder, but in our business, it's just like going up the ladder of success. So I've seen that in your business, and I've been cheering you for this from the sidelines. But for people who don't really know you, would you mind taking a few minutes to introduce yourself?
Yeah, first and foremost, I want to really thank you for the thrill, for keeping tabs on me, and for this wonderful opportunity to be in your line today. My name is Emeka. I help people to gain clarity, people who have stressed up, tired of hustling, doing the same thing and expecting the same result. I help them to get direction, structure, and also go through life in a seamless way that the hiccups of life does not weigh them down. Make them see vision through this business. And that is
Mm,
why I came up with dreams to reality. That
mm.
your dreams can still become a reality by virtue of this community that I belong to.
I love that. I love that. So tell me a little bit about your background, and the viewers too. Tell us about your background, where you reside, and then we'll go into the business questions.
Um, My background before coming to Canada 20, June 2018, I used to be a bank manager back home in Nigeria. I have background in finance and I have two masters in business administration and marketing before coming to Canada. But here in Canada, I've deviated into so many fields of learning because before coming to Canada, I used to think they were gold and diamond in the street of Canada. But when I came to Canada, it was all puzzle schemes. I kept asking questions, and those questions drove me to various fields of learning, to project management. I got certified, PMP. I got into business analysis, the agile management, and all that. But the question of what brought me to Canada was still unanswered until I met this business.
Mm. I
Yeah.
love that. And isn't it interesting? What a small world. We are both immigrants, both living in Canada. We are both PMP certified. What a small world, right? And I have to say that from experience, I know that coming to Canada, especially at the beginning, trying to land a job, it was just a catch 22. You probably had the certifications that you needed or acquired them if you needed them, but in the end, everyone asked you about your Canadian work experience, and it was so hard to just have both at the same time. So it's really, good to see that I had a partner in crime that was going in a different part of Canada through the same hustles, and there are many immigrants that go through the same again catch 22 cycle, right? Trying to take care of landing a job and coming up with the Canadian experience and doing whatever it takes just to build that up. But what I love about this business is that you really didn't need to do that. But tell me, what inspired you to start your digital business, and what was life like before you began?
Yes. Let me dive a little deeper into some of the frustrations I got in life.
Hmm.
When I finished my project management, I thought I could land a job. They said no. It's because I didn't get Scrum certification. I went to do scrum.org. From Scrum, I went to do financial analysis, wrote everything, passed, became a financial advisor. Still, the questions were still there unanswered. Frustrations were coming up. I went to the extent I went to child care and personal support worker, all just to answer the question of what am I doing here. And the frustration came to the height of it when my mother died. I looked at all the work I've been doing in Canada. I didn't even have money to go home to bury my mother. It was so sad. It was then and I told myself that I have to come out of my comfort zone and do something extraordinary. I started searching for where the answer lies until I found someone that introduced me to this business. And when I look at the models of the business, it is what really resonates with my passion and my search for competencies and resiliencies to the challenges that the Canadian lifestyle is introducing to me, which I have not been able to find solution. Formerly I thought if I get my permanent resident, I become a citizen, I would find life going, normal. But all of those things came in and there was no difference until I saw this business. So this business is a God-sent business, and I have put a lot into it to make me believe that with time, especially with the passive income thing, I could one day decide to say, okay, I'm not staying in Canada again because of the cold weather and all of that things. I want to go back home, and I will still enjoy the kind of lifestyle that I want to enjoy back home. So that's all about this business. It gives you that comfort, that's resilience to push further. That if you push further, you will definitely get a better future for yourself and for your generations. That's what I'm very enthused about this business.
I love that. And isn't it interesting somehow how we when we encounter a something in our life, a shift in our life, like you just mentioned about your mom, that kind of pushed you into realizing and having that awareness to say, if nothing changes, nothing changes, right?
Yeah.
So I love what you just said that, and because I love how you found the lesson in what happened and the sad experience that you went through, and I really love how you were able to pivot and really be open to look for something that is legit. And so my next question is, what has been the biggest shift or transformation that you've experienced since starting?
And the biggest shift, I would say, like, it also happened when my mother died. I just found that I was vulnerable to sudden shocks and, vulnerable to even future stability, and that I was reacting to life instead of building with intentions. And I found that if I go this way at retirement, I'll have nothing. And there's nothing for me to show that I came to a place like this. So that's really changed my lifestyle, changed my thinking. And I said, okay, I have to make a decision to move forward. I decided to say, okay, this is what I must do. And confidently, I started pursuing it. And to the glory of God, it's giving me a perspective of the fact that life could still be blissful at old age. But before now, I see everything as blood, as in there's no headway, because I've tried all I could, trying to get all the certification, trying to land a good job. But the more I look, the less I see. But with this business, I'm well focused. The clarity is there that this is the direction I'm going to. And it has also gladdened my heart that at the end of the day, my question of what, how, and when has been answered through this business.
I love that, and I really love what you said about having a decision, making a decision, right? I'm sure that even us, we saw so many ads before we said, okay, you know what, I resonate with that person, but we also said we let years pass, or in my case, right, I let years pass before really diving deep into this business, and it's just like you're just a decision away from changing your life, but you have to be aware that you're at that step where you just, draw the line behind you and just go ahead and may take a step, right? I love that. So, Emeka, to the guys, because I usually speak to moms, but I made an exception and I invited you to my live. So thank you so much for being here and talking to the guys that are listening here. So what advice would you give to that guy, that dad, that uncle, that grandpa who's on the fence about starting his own online business?
The first thing I want to tell them that sitting on the fence is a dangerous situation.
Mm,
Because when you sit on the fence, a time will come you either jump down or fall out of the fence. And you don't know which divide you will fall into. You could fall into a default climate that will not even give you a second chance. So the first thing I want to do is to advise them to be proactive enough to take the bulls by the hand, because your decision determines your destination.
mm,
Especially in this part of the world, you have right to your decision, but you don't have right to the consequences.
mhm,
So, and the earlier you start, the better. Starting with clarity, with guidance, with the right structure, you are sure of progress. Because in this business, there is a community with empathy, a community that has love. Like, if not for the love that you have, people like us will not even be around you, because you have that empathy towards humanity. That even when things are challenging for them, you take time to reason the way they think and see how you can bring them closer and make them understand that this vision is something that they must keep constant. You understand?
mhm,
So my advice to them is that they should get away from that fear, because fear will only limit your future. Fear will
mhm,
only stop you from becoming that which you have to become, because that dream that you have in your mind must be a reality for your generations. The only way posterity will be kind to you is that you're able to translate those dreams to reality. You're able to make humanity better off in your time. That's the only way posterity will speak kindly of you. So we are all running for that race to leave a lasting legacy that when life is short, people will have good things to say about us. And when life is long, we'll also be able to fend for ourselves and fend for our loved ones. That is the only advice I have for them. Procrastination is not only a thief of time, but it takes away that legacy from humanity.
oh, I don't know. You must have been a preacher in a previous life because you said it so nicely. I really love how you combined the words, how you chose the words to say what I felt, but I would not have been able to put into words. So thank you so much for doing that. And you know what, dear listener, if you listen careful to what Emeka was saying, he said the best decision is to take action now. The best time was yesterday, but yesterday is gone. Nothing you can do about yesterday. The next best time is today. And so make a decision, because just like I mentioned before, if you want to live differently, you have to act differently. You have to become someone different. And this is where this business and this community will help you get to your destination, to your new destination. So, Emeka, thank you so very, very much for being here today. It's been a pleasure. And I will continue to cheer you on in your business. Much appreciated. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for your large hearts. Thank you for being accommodative to everybody, especially me. And I'm very grateful for this great opportunity. And I would appeal to you at any point in time. I would always be readily available for something like this again. Thank you for giving me wonderful opportunity to be in your program. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. I'm grateful from the depth of my heart. Thank
Thank
you.
you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, again, I told you we have people from all walks of life in this business, whether you're a mom, you're a dad, you're a grandma, you're a grandpa, you're an uncle, you're a whatever. We welcome you with open arms. And this was one of a kind of interview. Again, this was the first time that I had a guy on my live, because I usually cater to women, but I wanted to speak to that husband, to that dad that might be skeptical about changing something in his life. And it couldn't have come from a better person other than a guy, and that perfect, and he put it so nicely into words. Emeka just did an amazing job, and so you're welcome. I wanted to thank you so much for being here and remind you to do something nice for someone today, like my friend and chiropractor Dr. Sean Demers told his son every single day. And remember that in a world where people choose to hate each other for no reason, I choose to love for no reason. I appreciate you, and I will see you at the next live. Bye, friend.